So yeah, hi guys. Still waiting for my guest to connect, and so yeah, hopefully she connects soon. Hopefully she connects soon. So yeah, in the meantime, we wait for her, and so today is just to talk about the Belgian Grand Prix that was held this weekend. Just to dissect what happened, who won, and what the leaderboard is like, and hopefully she'll break down. She's a Formula One fan, and she'll break down what happened. Yeah, so let's wait for her. Let's wait for her. I don't know what's going on. We've been at it for a while now, and it seems like we are not connecting. Seems like we're not connecting. Hopefully she connects. Hopefully she connects. Hopefully she connects. So in the meantime, we wait for her. My guest, if you're watching, are you winning on your side? So yeah, breaking down Formula One and all the drama that happened this weekend. I don't know what the connection is doing to us, but seems like she's having a tough time connecting. Tough time connecting. My guest, where are you? My guest, where are you? So for those guys that tuned in, I'm waiting for my guest. Waiting for my guest. I don't know what the connection is doing to us. Hush, guys. Technology. Ah, finally! Finally!
Yeah, at last. I don't think you were sending me an invite.
No, I did like a couple of times, and it just wasn't going through. I don't know what was going on.
Okay, and yeah, at last we managed to come in.
Oh, okay. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay. Can you maybe introduce yourself before we get talking?
Okay. My name is Mpho. I am a Formula One fanatic fan. I'm supporting Team Mercedes, and I also love McLaren.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So today we're just going to break down what happened at the Belgian Grand Prix this past weekend. Who won,
Okay.
who lost. I know my team didn't do very well, Team Ferrari. But anyway, so I think with maybe we can start with what transpired during the weekend. Maybe you can just take us through.
Okay. It was a very exciting weekend where we saw Team Mercedes continue with their domination, actually, with no opposition and with no challenge. they took 1-2 actually. Lewis Hamilton, the first driver of Mercedes, won the race, and then he was followed up with Valtteri Bottas, and Max Verstappen of Red Bull took the position 3, actually P3, and then but the P3 was actually being challenged. Actually, there was no challenge for the first and second position in the race, but the third one was actually being challenged, where we saw Renault's team, Daniel Ricciardo of Renault team actually challenged the third position. But at the end of the day, on the last lap actually, but at the end of the day, Max Verstappen took the third position on the game. So it was not very exciting because there was no challenge for Team Mercedes as compared to when it was in Silverstone, where we saw Max Verstappen ending the domination of Mercedes. But this time around, we saw Team Mercedes taking it throughout, no challenge, no anything. But that was that. We also had a very terrible crash. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can. The crash, I think it was was it the 11th lap, I think?
Yes, there was a crash between Alfa Romeo and Williams. He had an issue, Antonio had an issue with his car, with the wheel. The wheel was loose. And what happened is that Russell, the Williams driver, hit him. And then when he hit him, they were all out at the goal. So they couldn't finish the race.
Oh, okay. I think with also what I saw with the beginning of the race, there was a moment of silence for was it Antoine, the
Yes,
F2
Anthony.
driver who died tragically last year, and I think it was just for them to honor his memory since he passed away at the same Grand Prix last year. Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Actually, he Anthony Hubert was died on the grid in 2018.
Oh.
That was not in F1. Actually, like you said, it was F2. So they actually did a remembrance. This is what in the same grid, actually, in the same spa. He actually that's what actually transpired on the weekend. They were remembering him. That's what they do actually every year for him. He died on the grid in Belgium, but it was not F1.
Okay. I've always asked you this question to say I see like Team Mercedes is dominating, and I've always asked you this: is Mercedes winning because they have a better car or they have better drivers?
Yes, that's a very maybe biased, but yes, and also a better drivers. We cannot say a better car only. Mercedes in 2014, when the new rules were brought in, Mercedes started dominating the sport, and Lewis Hamilton actually came from McLaren Mercedes to Mercedes Petronas AMG team, and then that's when they started their unprecedented era of domination in the sport. But it's not. It's about the car. Yes, they have come up with a very good engine. Ferrari has in the past came up with the best cars. They have brought the best engines. Yes, that's one thing. And yes, I would agree with you to say yes, they have a better car. They have the better car in the field. But that's not the only thing that makes one to win the race. A race is not only won. Yes. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, Tabang. Hello.
Connection issue on. Hi, Mpho. Mpho, are you back now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there was an interruption there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes, I was still saying to you, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I was saying to you, a game or a race is not only won by it's won by hard work, not only won by the driver, but it's also because of the input that is being made by a lot of people, the staff there, the engineer, the technician, the designers. And I would say to you, Mercedes, yes, over the past have worked hard to produce a better car, to produce a very competitive car. And also, yes, like Ngobe is also mentioning strategies of every game. So Mercedes have put quite effort to try to win the race. So yes, I would agree to you. They have a better car.
They
They
have a
have
better
better
car.
strategies. They aim for perfection in every game to make sure that that drivers perform to their best.
Okay. I've always been a big Ferrari uh, team supporter. For the last
Yes.
few races or the past few seasons, Ferrari hasn't been performing to its optimal best. We knew
Yes.
we knew Ferrari from your Michael Schumacher's. What do you think has changed
Mhm.
for them to be performing as they are now?
Yes. I first and foremost we should start with maybe with the drivers they currently have. As a
Yeah.
team. They have Charles Leclerc, and they also have Sebastian
Yeah.
Vettel. Yes, Sebastian Vettel has at one point dominated Formula One,
Yeah.
and they have been doing very well. I won't talk much about Leclerc, but I can talk much about Sebastian Vettel as a driver. He has won a lot of races, beating Mercedes, beating Lewis Hamilton, but at the current moment, Ferrari is not doing well. I want to, it's a very difficult question to answer, but we want to believe that.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, I want to believe that the strategies that are being employed by the team, and it's also one of the things that they also mentioned was the engine. They were actually crying about the regulations, and they believe that the regulations have to be changed because they feel Mercedes domination is actually impeding them and somehow affecting and making the sport to be redundant. But at the end of the day, it's a very difficult question to actually answer. But it's a very Mercedes, Ferrari is not doing very well. I think it's the strategies that they apply, and also the issues of the engine, and also the issues of the staff. There's low staff morale to the racers. I don't believe the drivers are not good or they're not talented enough, but I believe that there's need for morale for the team. Because
But
in
now,
2019,
yeah.
2018, they were the rivals to Mercedes. They were doing very well, but not anymore, because they
Yeah.
even finished at P13, P14.
14, yeah.
not even getting a point at the
Yeah.
Belgian Grand Prix.
But then looking at what Mercedes and maybe Red Bull are doing at the moment, would you say now they've taken that bit of spark away from the Formula One
Excuse me?
races? Has it taken
I
that
couldn't hear your
spark?
question.
Yeah, I'm saying now with yes, I'm saying with now the performance that Mercedes see and Red Bull at times, do we draw the conclusion to say Formula One has lost? It doesn't have that spark anymore. There is no excitement moving to the next race, knowing what Hamilton and Bottas are probably going to dominate, and maybe Verstappen there and there.
Yes, I think that's what Lewis Hamilton was actually saying even yesterday, that he's also worried about that there is no competition from his rivals, and we are still going to see that. As far as I can see that there is no spark. Yes, we all agree that we want to have. As a Mercedes fan, I would like to see a challenging race. I don't want someone to dominate from first lap to the last lap and no challenge at no opposition at all. We want a challenge in that, and that is what Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas want. And as far as it stands, yes, it's not very exciting that much, but Rona as the fans who will be happy that Lewis Hamilton has won, but we really want to see something new. What Verstappen did actually at Silverstone, that's what we want to see coming out more, where he challenged Lewis Hamilton and then he won the Mercedes team. And I think Lewis was second and on P2, and P3 was Valtteri Bottas in Silverstone. That's when he ended the domination of Mercedes. That's what we want to see in every race. So as far as it stands, they are not challenging. They need to pull their socks. The race is not only won by the racer, by the driver. It's won by a lot of people. The technician, the designers, everyone has to put that effort into. That's what I was saying with Ferrari. They need to also. I think Vettel has lost morale of driving. So they need to put a lot of effort in making sure that drivers perform to the utmost best in every race.
Okay, and then with Verstappen, we saw him. I think it was the Hamilton. But what are your thoughts about him ever since the season started?
You
Yeah.
cut there. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear your
okay.
question.
I was saying with the races that you've seen now, what are your overall thoughts about Verstappen?
Verstappen is he's a very young he's very young. He's actually 22, so he has a very great future compared to when you look at Lewis Hamilton. I think he's even left with some few years for him to retire, maybe about 2 years or 1 year. So Verstappen is still very young, and he's one of the young lads we are going to see more of him in the coming years. And another gentleman that we should look forward to is the McLaren driver, Lando Norris. He's doing very well. I think he finished in P7 this past weekend, from P10 in the qualifying to P7 at the end of the game. So Verstappen he's a very, very, very interesting young guy to watch. So we are going to see a lot of him in the coming years. So as of now, he's really challenging Lewis Hamilton as a rookie as he is. So we really I really see a lot of talent in him.
Oh, okay. And then for those that maybe don't follow Formula One that much, there was an incident that happened in the last lap where Verstappen said his tires were fading. Can you maybe explain what was happening at that time?
I couldn't hear you, Taba.
Yeah, in the last lap.
You are cutting.
In the last lap, there was a point where Verstappen radioed in to say
Yes.
his tires were fading. For someone who doesn't
Yes.
follow F1, can you explain what was
Uh-huh.
going on with these tires?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you watch Formula One, you realize that the drivers are actually being they're supposed to be pitted at a certain point in the race. So pitted, how do you explain that? The tires have to be changed because the pressures and everything like that on the field. So I think when he was saying his tires are failing, maybe they were losing pressure and all that. So he actually meant to be, he needed to be pitted or something like that. But so it will depend on so that was actually that. So maybe he needed to be pitted because the tires had lost pressure. That was that, I think.
Yeah. And then with 10 races, we know there are 10 races to go, right?
Yes. 10
Do you
races, you mean
feel,
the
yeah, the like as in the upcoming races, I think there are 10 that's left, right?
but some are actually being added as time goes on, so I wouldn't confirm the number of races.
Okay.
Because they keep adding races on the way, so I can't really confirm how many races we actually to expect.
Okay. With the dominance that Mercedes is currently on at the moment, would you say are they going to finish or win the championship Hamilton before even the races end, the season ends?
Definitely, most definitely. Like I have already mentioned before, that Mercedes has been in an unprecedented era of domination for the past 6 years. So as you look at the constructor standing, that is the team standing, you realize
Yeah.
that Mercedes is actually at the top. They're really doing very well, and I think I can't confirm. I don't have the numbers now, but Mercedes is doing very well. I think after Mercedes is Red Bull, but
Yeah,
going
Red
down
Bull, yeah.
there, Williams and Haas are at the last. So as it stands now, they will finish first.
Okay.
So
And then moving to maybe to the legacy Yaha Hamilton, would you say
yes.
at the moment will he surpass Michael Schumacher's achievements?
He has already shown that he is he is surpassing him.
Yeah.
He's only left with 2 races to actually to beat his record. So as far as the number of poles, Lewis Hamilton is at the top. There is no other driver who has actually had so many podiums as he is. So it shows that he is doing very well, and he with the current performance, he's going to definitely break those records of Michael Schumacher. So
Are
no doubt
we
about that. So that one is not
are,
for
are you
question.
are you
So
saying
maybe
he's
I'm
going to
biased
be
because like I
the
said, I'm a
greatest?
Mercedes fan. So
Are you saying he's going to
hello,
be the greatest?
he is the goat. He is the goat. He's the greatest driver.
Okay. No, if you say so. So next up is the Italian Grand Prix in on
Yes,
Sunday.
Mugello.
Any thoughts about the race, or it's going to be a Mercedes 1-2 again?
The domination of Mercedes is, I think it will continue, unless or otherwise Max Verstappen does what he did in Silverstone. Maybe he will do the unthinkable, because he has shown that the drive to try to challenge the Mercedes team. But as it stands, there is nothing different that we are going to expect as far as in P1, P2 is concerned. But I think Max Verstappen is always on Valtteri Bottas, so it is possible that P2 can be challenged by Red Bull. So And then another person we should be looking forward for is Daniel Ricciardo of Renault. He's doing very well, and he challenged Max Verstappen in Belgian Grand Prix. So the possibility of him coming guns blazing this time around, they are very high. So I'm expecting anything to happen. But as far as P1 is concerned, Lewis Hamilton, he's on another level. So, so like Anita is already saying, he's the greatest. He is. He is.
No,
I
think Anita is talking about Michael Schumacher. So.
No, he is not. He's talking about, no, maybe he can clarify who he's talking about, but I'm sure he's talking about himself.
So, and then looking at with the current season, with the current races that you've watched, can you maybe name two drivers that you feel are people to watch in the next coming seasons?
In the next coming seasons, like I've already said, I mentioned earlier on that we have young drivers who are showing the drive to make sure that they win the race. And I think we can only talk about the young ones. Lando Norris is 20 years of age. Max Verstappen is 22 years of age. We have George Russell. George Russell is driving. I think the only problem that he has is Williams, the Williams car. It's failing him, but he's one of the British drivers have shown so much commitment and so much passion, so much drive to make sure that they perform to the utmost best. So some of the drivers that we could actually look forward for in the coming years is Lando Norris, the McLaren driver. I hope that he will take Lewis' seat when he retires. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, George Russell, but Daniel Ricciardo, I think the upper generation. So those are some of the drivers, in my own opinion, in my own sentiments, that we actually look forward to in the future.
Okay, I think Wabi shares the same sentiments as you, to say Hamilton is the Hamilton is the GOAT. So
he is the GOAT.
But no, we'll see. So
yes.
in closing, any last words for people who are interested in watching Formula One?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I could say, something very very exciting and very amazing about Formula One is the fact that it's not only because it attracts the best drivers and the best cars, but it also at the pinnacle of motorsports, where we see the best engineers, the best designers coming together. That's where we see a lot of innovation. That's a sport that's full of innovation. Every year we are looking forward to see who is coming out with the greatest car, who is coming out with a better strategy. So that's one of the things that's very exciting about Formula One sport. So generally, I would say that Formula One is very exciting. The adrenaline, the level of the racers or the drivers is what makes it more exciting every now and then. So I would say that people should just and
enjoy. So yeah, maybe one last question. Can you maybe
yes.
for those that don't know, maybe differentiate between F1, F2, and I think it's F.
Okay. There's the Formula One is the pinnacle, the highest, the rank. It's just the ranks. Yeah. Just like you have your, I think maybe let's take it back to soccer. That's why we have your Premier Soccer League, and then we have your Zedikole Rolling and all that, right? Yeah. So with Formula One, that's the same thing. So just for someone who doesn't know, we have the Indy cars, we have Formula One, we have Formula 2, we have Formula 3. So Formula One is the pinnacle of them all, of the motorsport. So that's maybe for in a layman's term.
Okay. Mpho, thank you for
Yes.
joining us. I know you are a big Lewis and Mercedes fan. Good luck for this weekend, and let's hope Ferrari can.
I don't know if you should wish me luck or the other ones.
No. Actually,
because you already know what's gonna happen.
You know,
whether we yes.
God, you know, I'm Team Ferrari, so at the moment, it's just to
Your
wish
Ferrari
you guys
is doing
all the
very
best.
terrible, unfortunately.
But
unfortunately, your Ferrari is very terrible. Hello?
No, we'll bounce back.
Yes. Let's hope that. But Sebastian Vettel is leaving Ferrari, so we don't know what's gonna happen with your partner. He is leaving Ferrari by the end of the season. End of the season, he might be joining Racing Point. So I don't know what's going to happen. Ferrari's troubles are continuing to grow every race and every year. So,
but then
it's very bad.
with Vettel leaving, then will Charles?
It's going to be Charles Leclerc.
Will he stay from your end?
Charles has, I think he has, I'm not sure, but I think he has renewed his contract and there are no issues with him leaving Ferrari. And he has not had issues with, he has never, unlike Sebastian Vettel has in the past actually voiced out that he's not happy at Ferrari, I think with the management and everything like that. But that's that. But Charles Leclerc has not mentioned anything, and there were allegations actually that he has a better car compared to Sebastian Vettel. So because some people believe that they're actually sabotaging Vettel. Vettel is actually having issues with the management of Ferrari, so there is no way he can stay.
It's a long way back for Ferrari. Yeah? Looking at everything that's going on. Yes, I'm a big Ferrari fan.
The person who's going to replace Sebastian Vettel is Carlos Sainz. Sorry.
Carlos
Sainz. I don't know if you saw the gentleman who couldn't start if you had watched the race, you would have seen there was a gentleman from McLaren who didn't start the game.
The one who had what was the problem? There was a problem with his, what was it? I forgot, but he didn't start the race, right?
Yes, definitely. So Carlos Sainz is going to replace Sebastian Vettel. He's the first driver of McLaren. Actually, they are the first driver and the second driver in every team. So he is the first driver, and Lando Norris, the one that I was talking about earlier on, he's the second driver. So he's going to be replacing Sebastian Vettel by the next season.
Hey, Rampatla Ferrari, yeah?
Yeah, but Carlos Sainz is a good driver, though. He is a good driver, but I'm worried. I think.
When will he become like? I know with Verstappen, they're grooming him, but with Charles and the guy that you're mentioning, when will they now ascend to say these are championship drivers? It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while, but Carlos Sainz is doing very well right now in the driver's thing. He is doing very well. So I think the problem is not the driver. The problem is not the driver. The problem is Ferrari as a team.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the race is not won by the driver on his own. He's won by a lot of people. So Lewis doesn't just win a race. There are a lot of people that are involved to make sure that he wins at the end of the day.
As for Timiano, hey, rebuild and regain the image that we had when we had the best, like your two markers.
Most definitely.
And then Huaba is saying,
but Schumacher at his last, Schumacher didn't do very well during his. He was not doing very well when
his last race.
He actually retired with Mercedes.
Yeah, but he's still
Hamilton replaced it.
He will forever be Ferrari, even though he moved elsewhere.
He didn't retire as Ferrari, he retired as Mercedes. And Lewis Hamilton actually took his seat when he retired.
So Huaba is saying Vettel should sign with Aston Martin, Red Bull Racing. Maybe he can redeem himself. Right now, I'd agree with that.
But Vettel is signing with Racing Point, which is going to be Aston Martin. So Red Bull is Red Bull. Yes, he's signing with Racing Point. So Racing Point will be coming next season as Aston Martin. There's going to be Aston Martin Red Bull, but there's going to be Aston Martin, just Aston Martin. Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
So we are hoping Racing Point is doing very well. The car is being powered by Mercedes, actually. So you can realize the engine is very good. So they are doing very well. So I hope Vettel can, because I have a soft spot for Sebastian Vettel. I just hope he comes very strong.
Yeah, I think he has maybe experience. Some of these young guys, to see him struggling the way he is, and like Huaba said,
it's very painful. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's very, very painful, because he used to be a very great rival for Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. And right now it's very, very, very painful for someone who is a 4-time world champion to be finishing a race in P14.
Struggling.
He's struggling every race. And last week he was actually when on the qualifying he was saying there's nothing I can do. It's very tough. That's the best position that I can do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, let's wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. And hopefully we'll talk again next week. Go the Italian Grand Prix, just for you to give us an update.
When you come from
on who won and how my team Ferrari is performing.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great afternoon.
All right.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.